I do here. I have to advocate in a very genuine way. Seriously, our black men have gone through so much. And financially, it is almost impossible to try empower yourself, even when you try. You know, the system's against you. You know, people don't have support from the government. You have 400 years of being, you know, oppressed. Where is this money going to come from? You know? And so we do have to give our fellow black men grace. And if you can see, the intention is to do better, you know, and make someone something serious. You know, that's a good guy.
Yeah.
And I mean that genuinely. I always say that, like, yo, black men, particularly I'm going to speak about South Africa because I'm proudly South African. Yo, you guys are up against so much.
And you know, like, I think it's interesting because we never have these conversations. And the rhetoric and the narrative out there is like, yeah, I am not Bob the Builder. I'm not building any man. And we're not saying take a guy that's a bum, that has no vision, that has no ambition, and make him your man. But it's like everyone is still working on themselves. I think we judge each other like very harshly. We're looking for people who are already made or who are like already perfect. And I think that's why there's so much miscommunication between males and females.
We are breeding a generation of weak men.
And so we do have to give our fellow black men grace.
When she went on this podcast and told South African women that they need to give black men more grace, especially when it comes to money, pressure, provision, Nandi, that sounds very nice until you actually think about it. Because here's the problem. Black women are broke too. Black women are stressed too. Black women are expected to provide, nurture, hustle, survive without speeches of grace. So when a wealthy Nandi Madida comes through and says, let's be more understanding of black men, the question becomes, at whose expense? Because grace in real life is not free. Someone pays for that. If a man can't provide, someone else will step in. If a man is not ready, someone else will. If a man is still finding himself, someone has to carry those bills, the kids, the emotional weight, and that usually is a woman. So let's be honest. Plenty of black men are not struggling because of apartheid or because of the economy. We are struggling because of our choices, because of our entitlement, because of our lack of accountability. But so is the culture of excusing underperformance. At what point does grace become a free pass?
It's the men for me today on social media. I've been seeing them quoting or rather reposting Nandi Madida's clip from the l-tido podcast. And I find it very laughable how men have actually had at least one Nandi Madida in their lives and they've fumbled her. And they're not even asking the pertinent questions under that comment section. Their biggest question or the most recurring question is, where is the purple gang? Why don't they ask themselves, what does Zakes Bantwini do so differently that he actually scored himself a woman like that? Because I can also guarantee you there's so many Nandi Madidas out there. But the problem is women have grown tired. They've grown so tired of building with a man, because you build with a man and once he's well built, what he's going to do, he's going to change on you 99% of the time. Not your loyalty, not the ring on his finger, not the kids that you've made together will stop him from finding better, because all of a sudden you're not good enough. When going through the most, you're not good enough. And they themselves have. So please, like, when these men are crying wolf, when I know that there's so many good women out there that are really loyal and that they'll be ready to build with you, right? And those very women are single namhlanje, but they have suffered at the hands of a man. Or lapho repost to Nandi Madida, when they know they to cultivate that kind of behavior out of, or not even behavior, to actually keep and sustain that kind of love with Unand. That's the question that you should be asking. Anyway, come for me.
Burino Ranaka must sit this one out because they are going to approach this topic from an emotional point of view based on the men they had to deal with. When Nandi speaks of black men, she's not focusing on black men based on her traumas. Nandi was raised by a father who is a doctor. Her father has a story of what he had to go through to become that doctor. As much as we are singing Zakes Bantwini praises today, Zakes Bantwini has a story of what he had to overcome to get to that level. So Nandi looks at those kind of men and knows exactly what it takes to become a black man. So Budineo must just sit this one out. You know, Ranaka speaks of the black men that are in the government that are popping champagne. These are the very same type of man who would set a man alight for trying to become a doctor during apartheid, calling him Mbimbi. These are the very same type of man who would ask a fellow black man for a protection fee for running a business in the locations. These are the very same type of men who would see a DJ Waras trying to make a living, trying to change the country, and then they take his life. Do you know Ranaka must not come and talk about black men in that light when all of us are victim to a certain type of black man? She must sit this one out because she's going to approach it based on the experiences she's had with men. Now the question we're going to receive is, what are we doing about it? We are talking about it. We are discussing it. That's why things happened the way they did in the last election. Because there are conversations being had. Something is being done. DJ Waras was doing something about it. They took his life. That's what's happening. Before you're gonna come ask us, what are you doing about it? Someone is doing something about it. But at the same time, the reality is whoever does something about it might lose his life. His family might lose him. That's our reality as black men. So anyone that's going to be better based on their experiences has to look at what Nandi is saying and the kind of black men Nandi is talking about. Nandi is not talking about the toxic black men you've come across, the toxic black men you've given kids to that are not supporting your kids. She's not talking about that. She's talking about black men that have given her love, and she knows that there's a lot of them out there. She knows that there's a lot of DJ Warases out there. So when you're gonna come say black men this and that based on your traumas, and then you go to the kind of black men that we're not even talking about, the kind of black man who's contributing to the pain other black men are feeling, then you're losing the plot. So Nandi, we will continue to thank you as fellow South African black men. We definitely see what Zix Bantwini saw in you. The Bible says we shall know them by their fruits, and we shouldn't be surprised that these are the fruits we are seeing from Nandi Madida and the fruits we're gonna see from any other lady based on their traumas. So any better woman must just stay out of this topic. Any better man must also stay out of this topic.
So as Nandi Madida said that we must give men grace, right? Let's unpack this whole grace situation. So we need to look at the way she spoke about Brazix, her husband, right? How her husband treated her and how intentional he was and where they met. They met at the awards. That man was already going somewhere. When they met at some awards. This man was already established in the music industry. He was already going somewhere. Asati Ketsi Pop, the builder, can give someone grace. This is very important. Listen. And when they met, it was back then. It was not now, where the femicide rate is through the roof, where women are unalived by their partners every day. You know what I mean? Where ladies are coming on the internet saying, I've been with him for 5 years and he's leaving me for mama. So, which men are we supposed to give grace to? As a woman who's been wronged by different men so many times in my life, which men are we supposed to be giving grace to? This is not even personal. I'm a single mother. Someone wronged me at some point. I'm a single mother and I'm doing the best I can. The child lives in a suburb, go to estate, go private school. So you telling me I must go meet another man and give him grace? I'm already raising a man that I can give grace to, which makes sense that I give grace to this man. But anyways, let's continue unpacking it. You will meet men that will find you as established as you are and feel entitled to your things. So I'm supposed to give him grace for all of my hard work so that he can just come in and stay or do whatever he likes. Make sure these things are happening. So which men are we supposed to give grace? In certain industries, men are paid more than women for the same job. There is a statistic that said a man can be paid 23% more than a woman for the same job, same whatever, even if the woman has more education and whatever, right? It's a thing. Which grace, which men are we giving grace to? Grace, like honestly speaking, I get where she's coming from because she was exposed to such great men. I'm exposed to such great men. I have a present father in my life. My dad is very present. I have 3 brothers, very present brothers. I've got good male friends. I have great role models for my son, right? And this is not out of bitterness. It's just a matter of which people, guys. And also this grace that we are giving to these men, whoever these men are, we can't give it to all these men because they were oppressed. We were oppressed too. You get what I'm saying? We were oppressed too. There's a point where a woman would not have work. You would get married and be a housewife, and then the man would do whatever he likes, right? So which men are we giving grace? And I think when you give grace, it needs to be responsible grace. So guys, if any Tom and Jack on the street grace, because someone said men deserve grace. What about us? Why is there a high percentage of single mothers? Why is there a high percentage of women losing their lives in the hands of a man? How, guys? Which grace? Grace will grace will teach you a lesson. You better be careful which man you're giving grace. But looking at her situations, which we are very happy for her, she has met a good man who works hard, who provides. He said he provides irregardless of how successful I am. He provides. I hope Limu and stop this thing as selective listening. But anyways, that's my 2 cents. Bye guys.
Just to love each other. So we are.
And can I say, Nandi,
yeah, please.
love people? We're not leading with love in 2025. Most like I can ask 90% of like females, what are you looking for in a man? Like love has become to the back now. It's like other things have come to the forefront. Yes, a man still needs to be a provider because that's what a man does. But it seems to be the only thing that matters these days. Like how someone is he respectable? Does he come from a good family? Is his moral compass intact? Does he have integrity? None of these things matter no more.
And I don't.
What now?
It's,
Okay, yeah.
Mshayel.
Yeah, so those things don't matter no more.
Yeah.
You know, like
you.
we finding like young ladies that would date a criminal as long as the criminal is paying for rent. So like, I just want us to have a different conversation with you because it's like, I think you can like literally give a lot of young females insight and offer them a different perspective to what they're hearing every day on social media. It's always the same message. And I feel like we have responsibility as like people who are a little bit older to give them a different side or give them a holistic side. Because I think we're looking at it maybe from one angle.
Yeah.
There's still other sides.
I feel like Unandi made a beautiful, valid statement in the wrong space. She gave content to the wrong people. That statement that she said should be a statement that is said in seminars that are controlled for women that have a particular mindset. Reason why I say this, it's because what she's done now is give men that don't deserve that treatment, she fed the beast ukutya kwayo more than anything. And the part that people are not really emphasizing on that short little clip that everybody has seen, it's the fact that she said, and it's going over people's heads, it's the fact that she said, give grace. She said all these things, but give grace to a man that deserves that. And men that deserve that know who they are. And then And then kuzobakho aba bafuna igrace kodwa nabantwana bathathu abayi-4 abayi-5 uzofuna igrace kubaby mama wosihlanu okanye unkosikazi lo azomtshata uthi nkosikazi mna ndizuyikhupha imali yerent apha endlini because funeka ndondla abantwana bam. Bendikhona mna ngoku ubuye kwenza abantwana abayi-6. I was not there. Ngoku zenza abayi-6 bendingekho mna. Ngoku mna mandikunika igrace ukuthi aba bethu sibenze emtshatweni bangafumani imali katata wabo because ndithanda ndikunika igrace. Nandi gave that beautiful truth to the wrong crowd. And they're going to run with it. Oh, is yo. Sizobaleka nayo. They're gonna go on and on and on. And it's men, there are men that don't deserve that at all. Funeka uphakame ezindoda uhambe uyobila usebenze because nathi siyabila siyasebenza inezinto sinazo. They didn't just come out of nowhere. Now I'm supposed to give you grace? She said it to beautiful, and I agree with what she's saying, but she said it in the wrong space. There are certain kids that don't deserve to hear
So much.
As we appreciate Usis Nandi for the gold that is coming out of her mouth, I think let's also learn from Uprazeks. Because I can guarantee you that Usis Nandi feels safe saying things like that because Ugrotman fosters that environment. I don't think any woman would speak like that if the male counterpart had toxic views, right? Let's not lie. So my question to you, Brian, is if Utazix shared your views on important issues, would this lady still be speaking like that? If Utazix had the same views as you on issues such as gender roles, childbearing, abortion, GBV, a woman's place in society, a woman's place in the family structure, women in leadership, the boy child, the girl child, just your views, not your actions, would Usis Nandi still be speaking like that if Utazix shared your views? The answer for a lot of us men is no. Right, and some of the men rather, that appreciate her say some of the most vile things about women, things that scare you as a man, right? And I'm not saying women are perfect here. I'm not saying that they are all squeaky clean. I mean, there are monsters out there, and that's a fair thing to acknowledge. But we should not lie to ourselves, a lot of us men, in thinking that Nandi would be talking like that if Utazix shared the same views as we do on important issues. I mean, just by her aura, you can see that this woman goes home to physical, emotional, and psychological safety, right? She's going home to a man who has the capability to think, to reason, to grow through the testing of views. So as we appreciate her, can we also foster environments like that? That's just my 2 cents.